Hello, everyone. You meet me again, me, Lilin Tua, or Old Kendall, on a course-free learning 5D program today. Well, today I will invite you to the marine community, especially the engine seafarer, from cadet, engine rating crew, junior engineer, and instructor, together, slowly, learn to know about fuel cell. For several reasons, the level of understanding about the fuel cell in today's meeting is still limited to the introductions and background of the choice of the fuel cell as the alternative device for the propulsion on ship or ship's propulsions, I mean. Well, in the slide 2, I try to briefly explain the background of the empowerment of fuel cell in the world of ship propulsion engineering. As we all know that the use of type of fuel cell, whether it is heavy fuel or HFO, such as MFO, or light fuel, such as MDF, MDO, and so on, have two serious problems. That two problems. First, as the limitations of non-renewable fossil fuel reserves, while the second are emissions generated from combustion, whether in the industry and transportation sector, if uncontrolled, will be very dangerous for human life. Therefore, immediate looking for alternative energy sources that can be solve these both problems, especially by implementing strict regulations on the need for lower sulfur fuel and zero carbon emission, especially in emission restrictions of sulfur emission control area and also emission control area itself. From some result of research and experiments that are conducted by some big companies and universities to overcome serious problems, then agree that fuel oil will hold an important key as a source or power generator of the ship's propulsion. Before I present information about the fuel cell, I would like to invite you to know some types of main propulsion machinery related to fuel saving, shipping safety, and protecting environmental pollution. Slide 3 shows the installations of the ship's main propulsion machinery using the external combustion engine and the steam turbine which is widely used on gas carriers. The choice of the steam turbine as a main propulsion engine is in addition to turbine vibration, the relative quiet, also the possibility of a fire or explosion can be avoided. Meanwhile, to solve the problem of making fuel consumption and exhaust gas emission, it's enough to concentrate on the correct operations of the steam boiler, because most of the machinery drive by steam turbines. Here, the steam boiler that use a steam boiler of the dual fuel type, which can be operated with liquid fuel, either heavy fuel oil or MDO, and gas fuel, the result of the evaporation process of liquid gas cargo. Responding to the international regulation concerning limitations of low sulfur and zero carbon exhaust gas emission, either for industrial machinery or ships engineering, ships company are faced on 3 options, namely replacing the type of fuel oil used to use low sulfur fuel, and it feel expensive. Change liquid fuel to gas fuel, or the last, continue to use the existing fuel by processing the exhaust gas emission into low sulfur by using the scrubber system. Of the 3 choices that must be faced, almost 80% of shipping companies choose to keep using the same fuel by processing its exhaust gas into low sulfur using the scrubbering process. In the attachment image, showing an example of a ship using a scrubbering process, or scrubbering process to clean exhaust gas emission from unintended gas, example sulfur or carbon. Exhaust gas coming from the main diesel engine, including from auxiliary engines and steam boiler, enter through the bottom of the funnel, which is further cleaning by spraying the seawater through a prepared sprayer, mixed chemical to spirit sulfur and other gases. It should be attention that wrong operations of the system may impact on marine pollution. You can see here the locations of the scrubber tower that is in funnel, and then you can see the seawater intake, and also the alkaline water generator tank, and then the exhaust pipe from diesel engine. It's also included exhaust pipe from steam boiler and auxiliary engine. Well, we go on to slide number 5. Hybrid engine technology on board ship. The technology of using, what is the hybrid engine technology? The technology of hybrid engine is the technology of using two sources of propulsion for ships in the form of fuel power source and an electric motor that works with an electric power source. Well, the main objective of the hybrid machine technology is fuel consumption and preventing of air pollution by exhaust gas. Well, we go on to slide number 6. Dual fuel diesel engine, or DFDE. Try to look at the image of slide 6. Here we showed the installation of ship's propulsion machinery using hybrid engine technology, a propulsion system that uses a combination of two kinds of gas and liquid fuel to produce electric power as a ship main propulsion. And the hybrid engine are dual fuel diesel electric, or DFDE. DFDE engines can be operated using two types of fuel, that is liquid fuel and gas fuel, from boil of gas oxidizer and NBOG for gases, and MDO for MDO pilot and backup fuel. Yeah. In the picture, there are 4 sets of the FDD that generating electricity. Further, through the main switchboard, the electricity, in addition to domestic need, is used for driving electromotor of propeller shaft, or called as the gear drive system. Well, from main switchboard, the electricity are used in addition to domestic needs, is used for device electromotor, driving electromotors of propeller shaft, drive electromotor for driving motor, or called gear driven. Okay, that is the type of dual fuel diesel electric, or DFDE. You can see 4 sets of DFDE produce the electricity from the electricity generator, and through the main switchboard, the electricity distribute not only for domestic needs, but for the power of driving electromotor, and then turn the propeller. Now we go on to the slide 7 and focus on the key material. If from slide number 1 to slide number 6, we still and focus on the focus and find liquid fuel coming from fossil, and any little still generating emission that can harm the environment, then on this slide 7, we will know which zero emission generating device called fuel cell. So, how fuel cell works? A fuel cell is an electrochemical energy conversion device. It utilizes hydrogen and oxygen to generate electricity, heat, and water. The hydrogen atoms enter at the anode, and then the atoms of hydrogen, the atoms are stripped of their electron in the anode. The positively charged protons pass through the membrane to the cathode, and the negatively charged electrons are forced through a circuit generating electricity. After passing through the circuit, the electron combined with the proton and oxygen from the air to generate the fuel cells by product water and heat. Well, we go on to slide number 8. In this slide, it shows an animation of how one type of fuel cell works, as described in slide 7. So, please watching. The hydrogen atom enter the anode, and then the atoms are stripped of their electrons into anode. The positively charged protons pass through the membrane to the cathode, and negatively charged electrons are forced through the circuit generating electricity. After passing through the circuit, the electron combine with the proton and oxygen from the air to generate the fuel cell by product water and heat. Well, based on explanation in slides 7 and 8, where the fuel cell is an electric generator fueled by hydrogen and oxygen, which is in addition to production electricity as well as fresh water and heat. The fuel cell is very fulfilling for use in submarine as a type of ship propulsion without depending on air or air-independent propulsion. On slide 9, on this slide, you can see a cross-section of submarine which air-independent propulsion type propulsion, which uses a fuel cell as a hydrogen and oxygen fueled electricity generator that can generate electricity for propeller propulsion and battery charging. So, from the success of several experiments and application in submarine and industry, on land, many types of marine transportation designs have been made using fuel cells. The following several design using fuel cell for commercial vessel or merchant ships. With hydrogen and oxygen fuel, two sets of fuel cell can generate electricity for the main propulsion and bow thruster as well as domestic needs. Okay, that's my presentation about initial introduction of fuel cell. In the next meeting, I will present about the types of fuel cell and how they work and their applications on board ship. Hopefully, we can meet in healthy and smarter state then. Greeting from Lilin Tua.